Here's one of Bob's called The Way. My loves in bed are not to be discussed by me, as mine by her. I would not comment upon gracefully. Yet I ride by the margin of the lake in the wood, the castle, and the excitement of strongholds, and have a small boy's notion of doing good. Oh well, I will say here, knowing each man, let you find a good wife too, and love her as hard as you. I love the line, in particular, a small boy's notion of doing good. You know, that was one of Robert's real strengths. He never gave up on that, which made him cheerful, as you can see. He was a talkative guy, he was a cheerful guy, he was a complicated guy at the same time. Quite remarkable. I'll come back to that. And Penelope showed me the collected poems 1945 to 1975 just a moment ago, and I saw a photograph on the cover of that I had never seen before of the young Robert in Mallorca. And here I have this poem that I wanted to read, the souvenir of a little poem, 4 lines, about one day in Mallorca, where he lived for a couple of years. Passing into the wilderness of twisted trees, below the goats and sheep look up at us as we climbed the hill for our picnic years ago. And there he is in that photograph, as he was those years ago in Mallorca. I appreciated what Robert had to say when he came out to San Francisco. Just a month or two before I left for Japan, he turned up at my place in Marin County, which was a cabin that somebody had told me I could stay in that had no glass in the windows, no electricity, no road to it. It was perfect. And he turned up with that Dorn. And he said, I've just arrived in San Francisco. Wow, this is a great place. And Ginsberg and Kerouac came up the hill by trail, and we had one of those memorable, somewhat drunken afternoons. And then for a couple of weeks, all of us were hanging out together like a bunch of old wheels. The mountains in the desert. This, you have to envision the landscape here as being New Mexico. The mountains blue now at the back of my head. Such geography of self and soul brought to such limit of sight. Brought to such limit of sight. I cannot relieve it, not leave it. My mind locked in seeing it as the light fades. To let me go at last out of whatever mind I thought to have and all the habits of it. It's a remarkable poem. I don't recall many poems that Robert wrote that went, that straight to the depth of where his heart was for a moment there, thinking about things. And I want to read my poem that I wrote as an answer to that, not knowing that it was an answer to that, about the same time in history. This is called Paiute Creek. It's from my first collection. That poem was from the collection Words. This is from my first collection, which is Rip Rap. Paiute Creek, this was working on a trail repair crew, laboring job for a whole summer, supplied with food brought every 2 weeks by a string of mules and horses.